Hi, hello everyone. This is Lakshit Pant from Azure Developer Community, and let's let's be back. And I'm here today again with the day two of the 100 days of cloud series that we are doing with Azure Cloud. Let me just quickly drop the link in the group so that if someone have might have missed out the email invitation, right? They would be able to join directly using the YouTube link. Just give me 1 second. I'll quickly drop this in the WhatsApp group. Till then, if anyone has any doubt, any query, just let me know. I have already shared the blog link today, right? So that have multiple. So I have defined it very clearly, like in which scenario you are in. You might be a student who has a college ID. You might be a student who doesn't have a college ID. You might be a working professional whose maybe whose organization use some kind of maybe Azure services, right? So you already might be having some kind of credits. So on those defined criterias, I have already written out that blog, and that blog helps you. And there are some couple of other, apart from student benefits, apart from maybe what I'd say, apart from the free trial that Microsoft Azure offers, there are some couple of other ways to get these credits for free, right? I have already shared those in the that quite written blog. Let me day two. We are live now. Yeah, I've just dropped the text in the comments in the group. So yeah, let's see if more people could join the stream. It would be great. Till then, if anyone has any doubt, any query, let me know in the comment section. Also, if any, how do you want to go this session to be? I just wanted to check a quick poll. Do you want this entire? So this is not like a session. I'll tell you what are the things that we need to cover in the day two. I'll give you a brief in next half an hour, and I'll give you the resources from where you have to learn. I'll give you my approach, how I'll be learning and what I'll be doing in this day two of Azure Cloud series, right? So I'll give you my approach and I'll give you the resources, right? So those who are joining new, it's not this cohort is all about streak. This cohort is all about being consistent. We will only learn what is required, not what is present in the market. So there is very thin line between what is required and what is present, right? When I say what is required, what is present, there are a lot more services that Azure offers, and inside those services there are n number of things. Then one could learn that these YouTubers, that all these community contributor tells us in the multiple sessions. Only problem is we try to learn from those blogs, we like try to learn from those kind of resources, but we never succeed in completing that course, right? Because we end up with a lot of confusion, as well as with some time roaming around here and there. Yeah, this session, it's there is nothing like recorded, but it's a live session, so it will be there on YouTube. How you can get an access of it? Go to your Azure Developer Community, go to the live section. There you will find this YouTube link, right? Or if you will just copy this YouTube, save this YouTube URL, just copy the URL bar and paste it, just save it in your local system, and then you would be able to maybe uh, rewatch it again, right? So that's totally fine. Now, I was talking about this blog, right? So uh, I took a lot of time, and I didn't thought it would take this much. It took me around 1.5, maybe 2 hours to 2.5 hours to write this entire blog. I tell you the reason, because here we have given the entire brief about what are the multiple ways. I'll quickly show it to you. I'll quickly show it to you. Just give me a second. Let me share my screen so that just let me know if my screen is visible to you all. There are no slides. I'm not I because there are working professionals also doing this streak with me. So there is a case where I don't feel myself as that proficient, right? So we all are, hi Daksh, we all are doing this for the learning purpose and for being consistent purpose. Like I tell you, I was talking about this blog that I have already written. You will see it is a comprehensive guide to everything, every way that Microsoft has, right? This is the 100-day cloud series, right? This is a GitHub URL link that you should check it out, right? If you are a college, there are multiple scenarios I have already defined. If you are in a college but and have a college student ID, but you should check. I have given a reference video how to avail your $100 credits as a student, right? Again, the second thing is, if you are a college student but you do not have a college ID, or maybe your college is sometime not you will get something kind of this like this, right? Your email domain is currently not registered with something kind of this, like mine. When I was in my college, my email domain was not registered with my college, right, with the Microsoft, right? So I wasn't able to get Azure credits for student, right? So that's the one thing. Then as a working professional, what you should do, as a working professional whose organization doesn't use Azure, what should do. And as a startup founder, or any kind of thought process you have in a future in finding a startup, Microsoft for startups could be one thing that you should consider. And then there are a couple of ways by which, there are 7 to 8 ways which I explained. Azure for students, Azure for Azure free account. This is a free trial. Maybe for 30 days you can use it. You can make multiple accounts. So see, we are all here for learning purpose, right? We just have to understand this. You just have to make one account for 30 days. When you reach to 25 days, just delete your, maybe just end your free trial account and delete your credentials and whatnot, and you are pretty much sorted, right? You won't be exceeding the limit of $100 in any case if you follow me, if you follow the resources I share with you, right? So just try to be more, just try to be very careful whatever resource I'm sharing, and explore yourself, but do not just turn off everything before you are going back to sleep, right? Just make sure before you going to bed, you are just making sure that everything is on place, right? Now, yeah, one more thing. Perfect. So I was talking about this. Then there is GitHub Student Developer Pack. Again, this is specifically for students. If you are a student doesn't have a college ID, they just need GitHub Student Developer Pack doesn't require a college ID. All you need is just one college ID card, and that's it, right? You just have to ID card, and that's it. GitHub Student Developer Pack, you get $200 credits here. Microsoft for non-profits, Microsoft Partner Network. This only works if you are an organization, right? It's not for, if you're a student, this doesn't applies for you, right? This can work. Again, if you have to show which kind of non-profit organization you are associated with, okay? And again, Visual Studio subscription, this is another a good way, along with free trial. So suppose if you have utilized the Azure 30-day free trial, right now you do not have multiple Gmails, right? You do not have multiple IDs, right? Microsoft accounts. What you can do, then you can sign up for Visual Studio subscription. It will, you, again, the same thing happens here as well. You get some credits, right? You have to pay. You will get a free trial. You just use that free trial, and after some time you just end up your free trial for 125 odd days, and then you can just move ahead, right, forward, right? Then again, Microsoft Azure for research, this is something that is you can check out for. And one more thing for a student, those who are students in my chat section right now, those who are listening to this maybe live stream, this is the very important stuff. Because if you are willing to make a career in research field, this can be a right click link for you. Just click on this link, you will find job opportunities, internship opportunities, and a couple of things right over here, okay? So this can be a good way to utilize Imagine Cup. Right now the Imagine Cup, maybe by 29th or 30th, the Imagine Cup is live, right? So you can just always apply to the Imagine Cup by 30th of January, and you will be getting these $100 credits, right? Imagine Cups, you get $100 credits. Right now, the most important thing, the fundamental question that everyone gets is, what if I exceed the limit? What if I get charged for something I haven't utilized? What if by mistake I get some kind of invoices and I do not have any kind of idea how to utilize those? First, utilize the WhatsApp group. Send us the screenshot what kind of issue you are getting. Second, if you face any kind of any issue, something like this, just understand this stuff, that just realize one thing, that you never have to pay anything if you are a student. If you are a student, you don't have to pay anything. Just go to chat support in the Microsoft Azure portal, right? You will find, maybe you will find a job, just go to Microsoft Learn chat support and tell them you were trying to learn Azure, you were trying to explore Azure, but by some you know by some, you did some mistake there, and you didn't knew enough about Azure. And yeah, by some means, you just got maybe by some you just got enough bills and not, so they will always compensate you, right? They are not going to ask you for any money, right? They will always, you do not have to, they will always cancel your subscription and you are pretty much sorted, right? When I was in my second year of college, I got something around 3,000 rupees of invoice, and what I did is I just texted the Microsoft folks. The customer support is pretty amazing. You will get a prompt reply from them. Just make sure you are, if you, and this applies if you are a student and if you are an instructor. If you are a working professional, one thing that could work is that you can tell them, you can showcase them what kind of community work you are doing. So you can show if you are doing some kind of community work, right? That you have been teaching people, you are doing this kind of streak to learn Azure, to teach, to to pretty much sorted. So these are the couple of points that you should always remember. So again, you can just read through this blog, you will find n number of things right over here. There are all the things. This is moreover like have you have here and there for multiple things, right? Yeah. Now let's move. Let's easy Daksh. AZ900 is very simple. I'll tell you, AZ900 is very very simple. Even if you have been through the course curriculum, by day 20 you are more than enough ready for the AZ900. AZ900 is very easy. They just ask you which service is used for what part, right? What kind of security services we have, what kind of maybe management services we have, what kind of monitoring services we have, and in which scenario we use which kind of service. That's it. So these monitoring services are pretty much very easy to understand, and you will always find these very easy to learn. And if you want to explore AZ900, I'll share those AZ900 resources in the group as well. Okay, now let's quickly, in next 10 minutes, I'll quickly explain you what are the content that we are going to cover in the day 2. For me it's day 2, for you it's day 1. So understand this, I'm 1 day ahead from you all, right? So day 2 content is this. So we'll be covering again, huge shout out to Michael. Yeah, how can I join the session on MS Teams? Okay, I'm Ashish. I'm really sorry. That MS Teams screen that you can see right over here. This is not a live session here. This is some other meeting that is going on right now, which I'm moderating. Okay, so that's something else. Please ignore it. Right, you don't just ignore it right now. I'm moderating one more session right now, the team session that has nothing related to it. We can always, we can do sometimes if we get good audience. What we can do is we can plan someday, instead of doing this YouTube live, we can plan this on Microsoft Teams, right? We can always plan this on Microsoft Teams. Right now, just this tab needs to be ignored, right? You don't yeah, I'm just moderating this session. That's it. Yeah, now let's quickly jump off what is the today's what are the things that we'll be covering. So maybe I'll just quickly open the GitHub repo. 100 days of and I got a query on LinkedIn yesterday that, but I do not have a GitHub account and how should I create? Simply go to github.com, make a GitHub account. No, Daksh. So I'm really sorry, but since the recession, the certification vouchers, Azure credits have been gone, have been vanished, right? Earlier, we used to, Azure developer community used to give away certification vouchers in the quiz, right? Every day, one used to get 3 vouchers we used to give away, but now we don't have that kind of bandwidth. So I'm really sorry for that, right? We won't be able to 50%. We can always give you 50%. We can always provide, right? 50%. I'll share you couple of resources by which you can get 50% free vouchers, but not more than that, right? For today we have Azure budgets and cost management. From one point, this looks very simple, right? This just tells us what can be, मतलब कि कितना ही होगा Azure budgets and cost management समझने में. But this is a huge topic. I have kept a single day, entire day for this Azure budgets and cost management. Why? Because without this nothing is possible. Like right now, let's take our scenario, right? You don't have a Azure account and you are trying to explore how you can get an Azure account. So just think from a industry perspective. One who are working on premise right now, they want to migrate to Azure, or one who are using some other kind of clouds, private clouds, or some other kind of public clouds. They want to migrate to Microsoft Azure, and they want to compare the pricing, like how if they are consuming maybe thousand, they are getting a bill of $1,000 per month. How can they reduce it to maybe $900 or maybe $850, right? How can they reduce that cost, right? That how they can reduce this cost by using Azure cloud, right? So that needs to that so that is a very very big challenge that organizations face. And there are a couple of things. So, and this is the role of a cloud consultant and customer success managers. You might have heard about that works in Microsoft. So the what are cloud architects, right? What does I'll tell you the scenario. Cloud consultant goes to a particular client of Microsoft, let's suppose SDFC. A cloud consultant from Microsoft will go to SDFC people and with the executive of SDFC, and they will tell you are using this, and that's why you are getting a $100,000 $1,000 bill. Now let's use Azure with these services. Okay, let's use Azure, and no, not these services. The cloud consultant will tell, let's use Azure. Azure will help you cut cost by this, and he will give some kind of matrices or data that these companies are able to. Maybe ICICI Bank have been able to reduce the cost by 10%, 20%, 50, 30%, 35%, right? And now if you will utilize use these services, you will be able to do so as well, right? Now what will be next step? SDFC agrees. Okay, after the SDFC agrees, this cloud consultant will patch up this SDFC guy to Azure Cloud Architect. And now Azure Cloud Architect will understand what is the requirement of the client, what is the requirement of the SDFC bank, right? Like they what kind of services they need, what they might need some kind of, because in banking sector security is very important, right? So they will find all those services for this SDFC client, and they will make a budget by calculating it with different matrices, and they will give it to the client, to SDFC, and then the deal goes forward. And this is how the typical corporate works and the migration works. Okay. So this is, I just gave you a 30,000 feet overview how typically this works. Now there are a couple of things which you can always explore. Again, huge shout out to Michael Durkan. The agenda of this 100 days program is to be consistent for next 100 days, and learn a particular topic in next 100 days, and write some kind of, aware, just learn to be consistent, I'll say. To be consistent with Microsoft Azure, learn Microsoft Azure for next 100 days. There are some couple of services which even I don't know, like I don't have any idea of Azure Bastion, I don't have any idea of maybe some couple of other, maybe so like Arcs, Azure Arcs, and there are a couple of other advanced services that I literally have zero idea about. Well, explore like MS365 services that Azure provides, right? I literally have zero idea about those kind of services, right? So we'll get to know about everything through this 100 days program. Idea is very simple: help everyone keep building with Azure for next 100 days. That's pretty much simple idea. Now, there is something called pricing calculator. There is something called Azure pricing calculator. Now, what does this Azure pricing calculator do? Azure, so you will get a blog, you will get a detailed blog at 9 p.m. tonight, 9 p.m. There is a link, right? Like you can see, you can see this credit guide is here. You will see a link right over here tomorrow 9 a.m., exactly 9 a.m. You will see a link here. You will see a link in the group as well, in the WhatsApp group as well, about all the things that we have covered, that we'll be covering today. So these are the topics that we are going to cover today. There is something called pricing calculator. something called Azure Pricing Calculator. Now, what does Azure Pricing Calculator does is Azure Pricing estimated cost of those services, right? So maybe if you are using two types of services, if you are using Azure Functions, if you are using for Azure maybe web app services, by using Azure Pricing Calculator, you can try out for 1 month for particular, if you run a particular virtual machine with XYZ configurations, how much it's going to cost you. Getting it? Azure Pricing Calculator is specifically for particular Azure service. Understand this. There are a couple of other things like total TCO calculator, Azure Advisor. There are a couple of other things, but pricing calculator, what does the pricing calculator does? It is specifically for Azure services. Azure Pricing Calculator tells us कि एक पर्टिकुलर सर्विस के लिए अगर मैं 1 महीने तक रन करता हूँ तो मुझे कितना ज्यादा उसके लिए पे करना पड़ेगा, हाउ मच आई हैव टू पे फॉर इट. This is what Azure Pricing Calculator does. Okay. Now, next thing is Azure TCO calculator. What is total cost of ownership calculator? Now, when we talk about total cost of ownership, there comes a lot of things, right? If I'll just copy this, I'll simply paste it right over here. You will see maybe it's total cost of ownership deals with the with maybe deals with the entire application background. So suppose you are an organization and you are working on some kind of on-premise work, right? And you are already using some kind of space on, you are using some, utilizing some kind of services that you deal in on-prem, right? Now you want to migrate it. Now this total cost of ownership will tell how much cost will be maybe will be applied if you use if you migrate your server from on premise to Azure cloud. So if you will see the difference right over here, it's precisely it's see what it does is Azure Pricing Calculator is more about products and services, while Azure TCO calculator helps us the financial impact on deploying Azure. So if you migrate or you shift to Azure, how much it's going to cost you. Understood? There are two things. Azure Pricing Calculator deals with the particular Azure service. Azure Total Cost of Ownership Calculator deals with the entire Azure thing. How much it's Azure going to cost you if you deploy a particular service. Right? This is how typically it works. Now, next thing that will be Azure Advisor. So, what does the Azure Advisor helps? So, suppose you are having 100 virtual machines deployed, right? आप 100 virtual machines आपके deployed हैं, and now two of your virtual machines haven't been utilized for maybe 3 months, maybe not 3 months, 1 month से आपके Azure दो virtual machines utilize हो ही नहीं रहेंगे. You are not using that particular virtual machines for 2 months. Past 2 months आप उनको use ही नहीं कर रहे हो, right? Now this Azure Advisor will tell what can be compensated, which is not required, कि कौन से सर्विस को आप डिग्रेड कर सकते हो, कितनी आपको सर्विसेज चाहिए, कौन सी आपको सर्विसेज नहीं चाहिए. उस प्रोसेस में आपको Azure Advisor हेल्प करता है, right? So this is where the Azure Advisor helps you, right? So again, if I have to make it, it is for Azure services, and this is for Azure deployment. This is for Azure I'll say making Azure maybe proficient. I'll say proficient. So this is how the Azure Advisor typically works, right? Now there are a couple of things that you need to understand when you are talking about Azure budgets and cost management, and there are a couple of matrices that we think, like tier tiers, right? Pricing tiers. What kind of pricing tier you want to explore, right? Suppose if we want azureportal.azure.com, now I'll quickly show it to you. Like every pricing tier has different kind of configurations, and you have to understand what kind of configuration is required for your usage. आपको कौन सी सर्विस आपके लिए कौन सी सर्विस बेस्ट रहेगी, कौन सा प्राइसिंग टायर बेस्ट रहेगा. You have to understand these stuff, right? So this if standard SDD, if you want only hard drive, you just want to store some kind of data, there is no computation required, so SDD is not required. So you can always you should not opt for SDD, right? SDD will cost you something. if you want some kind of computation, but you will, your major work is properly priorly from on a data saving side, right? So you will work on standard SDD. Then how about premium? Then you required the maximum work relies on the, maybe if you are working on some kind of maybe Azure, maybe deploying some machine learning models, you are doing some machine learning algorithms, and you are training your model on Azure. Then premium SSD is required, some GPUs are required, there are multiple things that will be required. So these pricing tier differs there, right? So these pricing tier differs that on that place. Now, and this is about the pricing tier that we can always explore. Now, yeah, where we was here. So yeah, now the next thing is about geographic latency. So suppose, like right now you are in India, right? You are in India and you have deployed some kind of services, maybe in multiple regions. You don't. It's, let's not talk about global. If you are in India, you will only deploy for Indian people, right? You know that your target audience is Indians. And what if you do not require maybe two, maybe you just require maybe one backup, maybe I'll say. So one, what I mean by one backup, you are only deploying your Azure service in Pune region, not in maybe, so we have four regions in India, four maybe data centers in India, right? Three precisely, fourth is in the building phase, right? So what if you do not require one? What if you only require one, and so that you can later decrease the latency, you can work upon your geographics, what is your target audience, where you have to upload it, right? So that your data can come efficiently, you can work with your data continuously, right? So again, these kind of things, these kind of matrices that we keep in our thoughts, right? Now, third thing is scalability and scalable on demand, right? Everyone knows Hotstar, Geo Cinema TV, and all these live streaming platform. Like suppose, let's talk about this YouTube only, right? But suppose, what if we get maybe thousands of maybe crores, they get, when Rohit Sharma and suppose Subman Gill are playing cricket, right? Let's suppose there are 50 lakh people watching those kind of maybe live stream. What if maybe Shubman Gill drops, and then Virat Kohli comes into play, and then suddenly there is a spike of maybe again 1.5 crore people, and from that 50 lakh, now the viewers has been increased directly to 2 lakh people, right? So how it will scale? How will be the scalability? How that auto scaling will play, right? What are the scale sets? So what kind of scale we are exactly looking for? So you have to make an estimate, and this is where the Azure architects plays a major role. They give a brief idea to the organization that there might be, if even whatever comes up, we'll be able to manage the traffic. So this is where the auto scaling scale sets and multiple things comes up, right? There are some couple of things like ARM templates and couple of things, right? Azure Arc Directory and couple of things there will be, so which helps you copy and paste virtual machines multiple times. So आप हर एक virtual machine को अगर manually configure करने जाओगे, right, it will take you maybe thousands of hours. So what if you can just on single click, you can deploy thousands of virtual machines just with just one single click. So this is how the Azure ARM templates, right, works typically, right? So we will learn it later. So this is another topic that we'll cover. Now, again, there are two very important things that always an organization consider when we discuss about budgets and cost management, and it's about on-premise versus cloud. How much the organizations is getting, maybe how much the organizations is are getting built on an on-premise place, and how much built they are getting on a cloud, right, on maybe an Azure, right? So this is the difference that we see, that organization takes, consider maybe the metrics that the organization consider. Now the second thing is capex versus opex, right? Owning a data center and managing a data center, like there are multiple capital expenditure is there. You have to manage the electricity, security of maintenance, and multiple things will be there, right? Like you already understand the models of as right? I do not need to explain it. So there are multiple things that you need to manage when you talk about capex as well, right? Capital expenditure. So all these things needs to be, this comes in some kind of expenditure is happening. So organization does consider this while they are while they are talking about Azure migrations and builds. Now, second thing is about Azure cost management and budgets. I'll quickly show it to you. Acknowledge. Uh, I was using, I'm not Azure. I have to sign in again. Just give me 1 second. I have to sign in again here. Okay. Okay. Yeah, the internet is again a bit slow for me. Yeah. So what I was talking about is this Azure cost budget. So what you can do, Azure cost management gives you a, and again, Azure cost management is free of cost. One part. Second, it gives you the entire dashboard, right? It gives you the entire dashboard that where what kind of cost, what kind of bills you are getting, what kind of, maybe what kind of spike you are getting, where is the, what is your particular time when you are getting the lot of traffic. So Azure cost management is a, if I have to show it to you with an example, and let me just quickly show it to you, right? Maybe if I have, I'll just quickly utilize some kind of images. uh, mm, okay, if I'll use this, let's, let this maybe, and if anyone has any doubt, just let me know. Yeah, now it's open, right? Just wait for a second. So I was telling you about this. I just need a picture where I have Azure budget dashboard. The picture is not loading right now. Just wait for a second. This picture will load. I'm waiting. Yeah. So you will see this is what yeah, you will see some kind of graphs like this, right? You can see this is Azure cost management. You can analyze your cost. What is, you will get some kind of dashboard from how much cost you are getting in which month. You can make check out multiple filters right over here. So you can map everything right over here. There are multiple, you have to understand this, which services utilizing what kind of services. Then there is something called Azure budget. You can set up monthly budgets as well. uh, and what I mean by monthly budgets, and what I mean by monthly budgets is, monthly budgets are something that maybe if you only want to utilize $100 for 1 month, then you can just make a budget of $100, and you can set an alert. Then if these $100 are about to be drained, then give me an alert that my resources are about to be drained. So that is where alerts coming in, Azure alerts come into play. You can set up a monthly budget, you can set up a 6 month budget, you can set up a yearly budget, right, in Azure cost management portal, right? There are multiple things, right? And also you can, through REST APIs, you can also do one thing. You can connect this Azure, maybe the cost management portal, Azure cost management and billing portal, to the Power BI, where you will see more graphs, where you will see some detailed overview of where you are getting what kind of things, right? So you can always get those kind of stuff by using REST APIs, but that's not something that we are going to consider right now. Can I explain? VMs, Daksh, when we talk about tiers of SDD, right? SDD, when we use SDD is mainly used for data. So we do not require major computation. We just want it, we are majorly using Azure from a database, as a database or a cloud perspective, where we do not require any kind of computation, but just simple, maybe we are not running any kind of machine learning models, or not running any kind of maths in the backend. So you can simply opt the SDD, right? You just require some kind of hardware space, that's it. You just need some kind of hardware space, and that's it. Some kind of database, maybe it can be Postgres database, it can be NoSQL database. So that, for that, it can be Cosmos DB, right? It can be Cosmos DB database. So for that kind of, if your requirement is only database part, you can just opt for a standard SDD. If you are looking forward to maybe some kind of computations as well along with data, you need some kind of computations as well. Suppose a standard SDD, right? Some kind of computations, what I mean is, maybe not, but not big computation, but a small kind of computation, maybe what we could think of when we talk about computation, right? What I mean by this, let me think through some kind of example. uh, Maybe a college CRM, right? Maybe a college, if you are using, if you are college, if your college website is using Azure cloud, and they require some kind of computation multiple times, right? Because there are multiple students coming in, they need to store their data, and they have to, like, what kind of resource they have to manage multiple things, right? Then there is some kind of computation is also required. You have to train, you are also using some kind of generative for small purposes, you are using some kind of machine learning APIs and whatnot. So then you have to use standard SSD. What is premium SSD? You have extensive work on machine learning, you have very extensive, you need a huge computation power. You are mining a Bitcoin, you are mining, maybe your startup is a AI based startup, so then you definitely need a premium SSD, right? You just want the computation to be fast, not the database, right? So yeah, this is pretty much. And the geographic and latency is all about which is nearer to me, right, which is nearer to me, right? So suppose, did I get a code? Just give me a second. Let me just see this. If I got a code, I'll just quickly set it up. Uh, yeah. So yeah, this is precisely about this. Now let's then there is something called management group, subscription, resource groups. Now these are the three things that are more the most, that these are the backbones of any particular organization. These, okay, this won't come in a single column, so what I'll do, so let's suppose in an organization there are multiple subscription. Now what I mean by subscription, if let's take an example of Infosys, right? Suppose Infosys, not Infosys, let's take an example of SDFC is using one Azure subscription for subscription is kind of like you buy a subscription of Netflix, you buy a subscription of Hotstar or any kind of OTT platform, something like this, right? You pay for certain amount, right? Again, that's a fixed cost that you pay for, right? So that subscription cost is fixed. Now you can divide these subscription on multiple basis, right? For maybe, for if you are a SDFC account, if you are a SDFC organization, there can be different billing for the banking part of SDFC, and there can be different billing for the insurance part of SDFC. So both are using Azure, but for the insurance part they are using different subscription. For the banking part, for the banking part, they are using different kind of subscriptions. So they have created differentiation so that everything can be utilized. Otherwise आपको सारा बिल एक साथ करना, क्लियर करना पड़ेगा. It will be a lot of ruckus created, because here we are talking about lakhs of peoples of data, and we are talking about crores amount, that is in crores, right? So in order to manage all these groups, we have these management groups that allows us to differentiate and manage all these different subscriptions. Okay, now then there comes there comes this, what we call this, subscription. I have already told you resource groups, right? Now what is resource group? This is a very interesting thing, right? Resource group is something like, uh, how is it, some kind of particular Azure service. So suppose, let's take an example of two countries. Suppose there is India, and then there is maybe Nigeria, right? For India, my SDFC is using, maybe SDFC is, or maybe you are using XYZ Azure services. For organizations it's same. SDF, okay, let's not take an example of a country, let's take an example of tier 1 and tier 2 cities, right? For tier 1 city, you need maybe some kind of premium subscriptions, right? Where people are coming, you are getting a lot of traffic from a tier 1 city, right? So you are inside the tier 1 city, you have to use multiple Azure services, Azure web app service, Azure functions, Azure containers, Kubernetes. You are using multiple things right over there. Then you can club all those services and put it inside a single resource group. Then again, there comes the another resource group which takes care of the tier 3 city. Organization is same, management group is same, but the resource groups are different. How resource groups are different? Because one geographical area, my requirements are different, my Azure requirements are different. For another area, my Azure requirements are different. So I have created the differentiation of Azure services, so I can club all these services together, so I can deploy it in multiple places. So suppose if I have to scale it to some other tier 3 city on the next day, I can just scale it on just maybe 2 3 clicks. I can just simply scale it, right? So this is how typically it happens. The source group concept typically works. Now there is something called about budgets and alerts. Did I got an yeah, I got a code. Yeah, just give me a second, right? I want to set it up so that you I can just show you the demo, right? I don't know why this maybe the ambassador thing keeps me logging out, right? Maybe it's because it's opened in two different laptops, I believe. Otherwise, because I have run the entire job last night, right, it was working perfectly fine. The entire Azure was working fine. I'm working on a pay as you go subscription, right? Okay, perfect. Now there is one more thing that I was talking about, budgets and alerts. Now what is budgets and alerts? So as I budgets I have already covered, and alerts as well I have already covered. Budgets and alerts come into play. So suppose if you have to make a particular budget for one particular month, you can set up a budget and you can set up an alert, right? How $100 will be utilized for January month. Then there is a sudden traffic in February month, so you can increase the budget. You can set up a budget of maybe $300 for the February month. You can set up again maybe $200 for March month. So this is how you can, for 1 year, 1 month, 6 months, 4 months, you can set up these budgets, right? Always. Then what are the alerts? What if you lose out of budget in the mid of the month, right? Suppose you kept $100 for entire January month, but what if on the day 15th, on 15th January, you are somewhere around $80 left? You are just left with $20. You can just set up that alert, that if this budget goes maybe to a certain limit, or conceives to a certain limit, give me alert. So this Azure will give you alert in your particular Gmail ID that you give to it, that you provide to it, and it will just simply give you a notification that there is an alert that you are going to exceed your limit or whatnot, and please add money into your account and whatnot, right? So this is how the budgets and alert works. Now there are some couple of blogs. So for today's, whatever things I've explained, you can always explore these two blogs. So these are the two blogs that you can always explore. I find them very useful. There is no any kind of video that I think that you should learn. It's just about the blogs, right? Blogs you can always try out. It will hardly take 10 minutes to read out these blogs, right? Just go through these blog once and you will realize how simple it is. The day two of Azure is okay. So yeah, now the partial method. If anyone wants to go with this, I can simply, if the sign in works, right, I can just okay. How does it matter? I'll just quickly make a sign up here, right? There is PowerShell because it has a greater compatibility, because PowerShell is a Microsoft provided bash, right? So you can always use PowerShell for these kind of features. So if you are using a Windows laptop, then you should definitely utilize the PowerShell, right? And we have some particular commands for using PowerShell, right? And I'll quickly show it to you. You don't have to memorize these commands are already always present in the pasting in the Azure, maybe while learning, right? Even if you are working in an organization, you will have these commands already present in your Azure, right? So you can always utilize these commands. I'm really sorry for this glitch. My StreamYard just went off for a couple of seconds. So yeah, I was showing you this, right? Just give me a second. Let me present my screen so that you all can see what I was talking about. I was talking about these particular commands, right? So these are the particular commands that you can utilize. So with install module, install hyphen module command, right? You can okay. Let's not keep it like this. It's not coming in the correct order, right? With this command, you can install Azure in your PowerShell, right? You can always install the modules of Azure in the PowerShell, and with this command you can connect. As soon as you will click on the connect AZ account in the PowerShell, it will ask you to sign in. You have to sign in using your Azure account, which you have signed in the Chrome browser or whatever browser you are using. Sign into your Azure account, and then this is the this is the third link. This is the third command that you can try out, which will give you what kind of which will give you the entire thing, like what kind of subscription you are using, what kind of module you are running, and everything, right? So suppose maybe if we run the first command, uh, maybe if we run the first command, let's run it. It will take some time, and then it will take some time, and it will and also those who are not sure how to utilize the PowerShell, you can always utilize WSL. Oh, can't. So okay, I'm not a super admin user. So see, now just see here very quickly, like what kind of error I'm getting. It's telling me that administrator rights are required to install these modules in the PowerShell. So I have to log in as an administrator in my PowerShell, and then yeah, I have to log in as an administrator in my PowerShell. Then I can always run these type of commands, right? So let me just quickly log in. Just give me a second. Where is the PowerShell? Where is the PowerShell gone? This system has been pretty slow. I'll use my next other system from the next days. And okay, let me see if this works for you all. And then there is this one more last command that you can, okay, the it's coming. Yeah, okay, it's coming in. Let's see if it is coming entirely. I hope it should come entirely. So this is another format, right? It's not so you have to copy it something like this. You have to paste it something like this. You can see I have created a budget of amount 100. Okay, I have created a budget of amount 100, and I have my start date is today, and the end date is 30th. My contact email is this, and as soon as this budget, so this is I'm making a new budget here, and as soon as this budget gets wrapped up, I'll get a notification in this email, and this notification is enabled, right? And you can see there is a particular threshold, like it will give me a notification, maybe every maybe 2 hour, every 3 hour. That the threshold you can always edit. 0.8, 0.1, 0.3, you can always edit this kind of threshold. Yeah, so it totally depends on you. Now if you want to explore this, the maybe this, Pawan, I'm not sure what is the, so it's not free, but I have already given you the context how you can just make it for free, right? I have given you these links. I wrote this blog. This is the blog that you should check out. Here everything is written, how you can get all the Azure credits for free, right? How you can utilize those credits and how you can utilize these credits, right? These are already available here. So do utilize these kind of sources. Okay. Now someone, yeah, so this is the link that you can always check it out. So these are pretty, so this is moreover, this is more about today's topics. And again, I was talking about ARM templates, right? Somewhere I have discussed about ARM. Yeah, yeah, the entire, yeah, this is 100% free. Yeah, Bon, this is 100% free. If you are talking about the sessions, yeah, these sessions are 100% free. and I'm trying with some couple of industry leaders, with some Microsoft MVPs, some Microsoft MCTs, who will be coming in, who will be giving you. So instead of me explaining the topics, they'll be coming in, they'll be explaining a particular service to you, like what this particular service does and how to be efficient in this kind of service, right? They will tell you what this service does, how to utilize that service. So they will tell you each and everything, right? So we are working upon it, that model as well, and we will notify you over the email only. You will see the and the WhatsApp group. So keep looking at the WhatsApp group. So these are the particular topics. I've already shared this with you. These are the particular topics that I have for day two. So again, huge shout out to Michael Durkan. He's the Microsoft MVP, whose content we are following for this entire micro 100 days of cloud series. And this is the day two of 100 days of cloud series, right? With Azure Cloud. So yeah, just try to build as soon as possible. By 9 a.m. tomorrow, you will see a blog, where you can see a blog in the WhatsApp group. One you can see, you will find that you will find that WhatsApp. So this is what I was talking about. So you can manage and create a budget using this. See here, I was talking about these commands. You can utilize these commands and you can set up your entire subscription and everything. Okay. So you can just utilize these commands, and you can utilize this in PowerShell, and you can utilize this in PowerShell, and also you can use this in your Cloud Shell as well, right? So there are two things that you can always utilize. So these are the commands so the commands that I've already shared with you, these commands are here in this blog. So I have already shared this blog with you, so do check out this blog here. This is the blog that I was talking about. So check out this blog, everything is written right over here. And for the entire day two of this 100 days of cloud series, I'll write a quick blog today and I'll share it with you by tomorrow 9 a.m., where you will find the blog, again, GitHub link. Here is the GitHub link, right? Here is the, if anyone haven't got the GitHub link yet, this is the GitHub link I'm referring to, right? Okay. So utilize this GitHub link. Have put your choice, right? I have already added the link to the day one of cloud, where we have to set up our Azure account. Day two is more about budgets and cost management. Today is the day two. So I've already explained what we are going to cover in the day two of budgets and cost management. These were the particular major topics that I believe you should know at present time. So Anjali, Discord link is this. Okay, okay. Either you can utilize this or you can utilize both. The links works, both link works, right? You can always utilize these resources. And one very important thing I didn't saw is, because I saw a couple of, like, right now 9 people are here. There were some, at some point of time there were 25 people for there in this session, right? I just want everyone to make a social post and start your day one, right? So I have already shared the creative with you in the group. Utilize that creative. Start with the I'm a proud contributor to the I'm proud to be the part of the 100 days of Azure Cloud series. We would be very happy to facilitate you with something. We have a lot more amazing swags coming in, some speaker swags coming in, right? And we are also giving away some couple of other things as well. So fanny bags of Microsoft Azure, some cool Azure merchandise we are giving away for this entire 100 days of cloud series, right? So just start your day one with today, right? If you are very new to if today is your day zero, start with day zero. You just set up your Azure account, explore what kind of resources you need, what kind of Azure account you need, and that's it. You are pretty much sorted. So this is pretty much about today's session and everything. It's not a session, it's more about what we are going to cover. Again, today we stretched it to 55 minutes. We will keep it short from tomorrow. We'll try to keep it under 30 minutes only, where we, because of lots of questions, I just stretched it a lot. But from next day we will try to keep it very short, where I'm just explaining the topics that you need to learn, and I'll share the resources which will to learn those resources, right? And the approach to learn those resources. So just be ready for everything. Just explore these resources and everything for not for tomorrow. And if you feel that you are yet not confident, exploring these resources, wait for tomorrow 9 a.m. I'll share uh, my blog link, and just go through it, and you will I'll I'll write it down with real time scenarios, right? I'll not make it very, I'll not write it in the Shakespearean English. I'll definitely, I won't be using any, kind of fancy words or whatnot. I'll try to use it as simple as possible. So see you tomorrow at 5 p.m. At the live stream of 100 days of cloud, day 3, right? And yeah, just feel free to make a social post, tag us on LinkedIn, Azure Developer Community, reskill me and everyone. Again, Michael Durkan, because we are following his content, right? So yeah, feel free to modify and everything. Yeah, just enjoy everything, right? Let's see you in the cloud. Thank you everyone for joining in. Thank you Pavan, thank you Pranjali, thank you Dax, everyone who joined for this session. And there are a couple of other names as well. I remember, yeah, there were a couple of, yeah, Yash, Yashas, everyone, right? Deepthi, everyone who joined this session, who joined the 100 days of cloud series this session. So thank you for joining this session. See you at 9 p.m. Thank you Praveen. See you at 9 p.m. in Azure quiz. And today's topic is unsupervised learning. For today's 9 p.m. quiz, the topic will be unsupervised learning. See you at 9 p.m. in our Discord server. Yeah, bye bye. Thank you everyone. Keep learning. Happy learning.